This is a special message to our state and tribal delegates who play such an important role in our association. As you know, we are approaching our next expo, which will be held in Albuquerque in June. As part of our annual expo, there is always time for what we refer to as the gathering, a get-together between you, our state and tribal delegates, the board of directors, our staff, and special guests. This year's meeting comes at a very important time in the life of community transportation and in the life of our association. We are passing through very difficult times here in Washington that you can read about every day when you pick up your newspaper or look at some other media, or even if you look at the publications we put out, such as Fast Mail and Digital CT. The political divide in Washington has made many issues and political concerns much more difficult to deal with than they have been in the past. That's very true of our situation as well. Because MAP 21 was a very short time frame in terms of its length, we must begin right away to plan for the next reauthorization that will take its place. Last month at their winter meeting, your board of directors and staff met to discuss some of the basic elements and messages that need to be part of that reauthorization strategy and approach. In talking about the issues we face and communicating them, it's very important that we have the right message for our time. To better understand that, we coined the phrase, "Why Community and Public Transit?" to reflect on why it is important that Congress give our efforts important consideration, and why we should be able to have community and public transit issues raised to the forefront of a national political agenda that is, as I mentioned, very crowded and very confused. In some respects, we've learned in the last several years that many new members of Congress don't really get the message that we currently have out about what we do and what you provide. Many think that community and public transportation is nice to have, but they don't see it as the necessity that it is for many of the people who depend on us. That's why we wanted to address this discussion as why community transit. And, as I mentioned at our board meeting, we talked about various aspects of what we do. That is clearly an important issue and series of arguments that have to be made in this time. What we'd like you to do is to join that discussion with us at our annual gathering in Albuquerque. We want to hear from you about what you think are the most important issues to address when answering the question, why community transit, to local officials, to the people that you work with in your community that are your partners or your state friends who provide financial assistance for community and public transit, and of course, what issues on why community and public transit you use when talking with the people who use our service, your riders, and the consumers of community and public transit. We need to get a better focus on the arguments that you're using that are effective locally so that we can bring those together nationally as part of a new message to Congress, the administration, and to the American people. So at our meeting, we would like to have you join one of our work groups that we'll have at the session to talk about these issues and to bring forward your successful efforts in this field. Between now and Expo, we'll have several other communications about what we're going to do at the meeting and how we're going to address these things. But for today, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Our most important piece of work at Expo will be to fashion a message that makes sense for the difficult political times that we're in. We need you to bring your experience in addressing the question, why community transportation, why public transportation at this time, based upon what you use as successful messages with elected officials locally, what you use to communicate with your friends and allies who use your services, and again, what messages you send to the people who ride community transportation. When we bring your experience together with the experience of our other delegates from across the country, when we put that together with what we've heard and what our board members contribute to this discussion, as well as our staff, our ambassadors, and our special friends, we think we're going to get that message that we need that makes our argument more convincing for the days and weeks ahead. Speaking of those days and weeks, I know that many of you face great anxiety about the situation here in Washington. You've passed through a very difficult period with the sequestration, which is still unresolved in some issues. We have a budget proposal in the House of Representatives that is not good for community and public transit. There seems to be great confusion in the Senate about where we need to go with the next reauthorization. So it's easy to understand that the future looks very daunting and very troublesome. I would like to mention that nothing about this is really new. We have always faced challenges in our field. We have had great progress in the last 2 decades in raising the visibility of community and public transit, as well as the nation's investment in it. None of that has ever been easy. It has always been a struggle. But the thing that has contributed most to our success, even in difficult times, is the record of achievement done by people like you every day in the communities you call home. If you follow the recent articles that we've been running in Digital CT, and you've been looking at some of the things we've been doing on our website, you'll know that we've been trying to build on that record over the last year as we prepare for the reauthorization struggles that lie ahead. I need you to help us with that by being at Albuquerque to share your experiences and work with us and your board to craft the important message that will take community transportation and public transportation forward, even in this most difficult political environment. I know that you have a lot of work on your agenda at home. I know it's a lot to ask some of you in this very difficult period to step outside the box a little bit and think about the broader national implications of what we do. But as we've said so many times, we're all in this together, and we can't be successful in doing what we need to do without you. And that's why being a state and tribal delegate is so important, and why your role is important. Finally, let me say that after we get this information together, we're going to try a different strategy in making our case to the Congress and tightening up our procedures and communications and targeting to try to reach key people in key places so that we can make sure that our values, concerns, and our needs, which are your needs and values and concerns, are a major part of the next transportation reauthorization. So, I hope you do plan to join us in Albuquerque. I'll be in touch soon. You'll be hearing more information from me about this process, and I look forward to meeting with you soon and working hard to make sure that our values are successful. Thanks. Thank you again for your continued help and participation. I'll be in touch soon. Take care of yourselves, and good luck.